Hello everyone, welcome back to Father and Daughter Podcast with myself, Ria.
And myself, Mem, the father of daughter. I won't say the father of the daughter, sorry. Yeah, the father of the daughter, the father of Ria.
We're co-writers and creators of an upcoming crime psychological thriller based on true events called The Only Way We Knew. We're back today for another episode to our podcast. I believe this is our 13th episode.
It is.
Moving on, as always. I always seem to say this at the beginning. On to the next one, and so forth. So our last podcast, we had an in-depth conversation about addiction. Okay. How did you feel watching that back? Did you feel like we covered everything that we needed to cover?
No. Addiction is vast. So when we speak about it, it's, how deep can you go into it?
Yeah.
Do we go personal? Do we go, what's going on the outside? What's going on the inside?
I think we touched on it just enough for everyone to create their own understanding of where we were coming from. And also I feel like it was just enough so that we didn't spoil what the book has in store. So yeah. So on to a slightly lighter subject today. Okay. I thought it would be, collectively we thought it would be a good idea to speak about relationships.
Yeah, relationship plays a big part in the book.
It does play a big part in the book. And it is something that, whether you want to or not, you kind of form relationships everywhere in your life at different stages. I mean, you've got relationships at home, relationships at work, just even relationships that you may form with like people passing by. Do you know what I mean? And then you've also got your romantic relationships. So there is a few different types of relationships. Yeah,
relationship, friendship, partnership, all these things.
All these different boats.
A lot of ships going on, a lot of sinking ships. But yeah, I mean, the relationships that you tend to have on a daily basis, if you actually think about it, it's even just going into your local newsagents and buying your local milk or whatever. You get to know his name. I don't know, my one's Mr. Patel. I call him Mr. Patel. Even down to your coffee, do you know what I mean? So you end up building a rapport and it becomes a light-hearted relationship. It doesn't become too deep. You don't open too much.
It's just surface level.
Yeah, just a surface level, but it's still a relationship. It's a bit like, if you saw them in a different shop, you'd still say hi and whatever, and but yeah, I mean, compared to like family relationship, it's a completely different level.
Yeah. So why do you think relationships are important then?
We as a species, we are, we're like a pack. I'll always talk about, our primal instincts. Always. You notice that when I talk about things, I just don't talk like about, job and this, that. It's about what is in our depths as a species, what we are. When I talk about, when we spoke about money and we talk about control, when we talk about all these other subjects, I can't really think about what subjects we spoke about off the top. And what other ones did we speak about?
Religion, education. Again.
Yeah, see, all these things are, relationships. So we become a group. A family is a group. A friendship is a group. Work is a group. And it's like you're fighting against others.
Yeah.
You're protecting your group, and it's, as a species, we do like to be, as they say, a pack. So
we work all right by ourselves, but better as a team.
Yeah. I mean, there's some people out there that just don't like it.
It's
they can't invest
true.
themselves into it. They can't. They don't want to be.
They don't want the headache. They don't want the liability. They just want to get on with their life as they are. And I get that, but I personally can't relate to that kind of.
Yeah, I mean, some people they find it's easier.
Yeah.
I don't want to answer to anyone.
I find it hard to trust.
Just trying to invest. Invest energy, time into an individual that you don't get the same back.
Yeah.
And when you don't get the same back, you know, you start to think, I'd rather be on my own. You know what I mean? I'd rather have a job where I'm on my own. I do my, but it's lonely. But it's a coping mechanism for them guys.
Yeah, definitely.
I do have a couple at work that come in, and you know, I've got some guys, you know, they're just stuck indoors. The way the world has become now, you know, everything's become so convenient. You know, they can, you know, order their food, pay their bills online, you know, their clothes get delivered, wash this, that, everything. They don't even have to leave the home. So they're sitting in a perfect environment today, you know, everything's just a touch of a button.
Yeah.
But yeah, is it healthy as an individual? From my point of view, not really. But from their point of view, it might be. We're all different.
Yeah,
so.
definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you going to ask me, do I think they're important?
Sorry.
Or is it just a one-way street?
No. I mean, what do you think? What was the question?
Why do you think relationships are important?
Okay. Why do you think relationships are important?
I think relationships are important because they can either hold you down or they can encourage you to flourish. So I feel like if you have healthy relationships with people in the different ways we've just explained, you know, like your family relationships, work relationships, friendships, partnerships, I feel like it's the perfect formula for you to flourish in life. You know, support is great, and the right kind of support I feel like helps you as an individual. And I also feel like they're important because the wrong kind of relationships in general can have the adverse effect on you.
Yeah.
So if you develop unhealthy relationships with people and also things, so it doesn't just have to be with people, it can have a negative effect on you and kind of hold you back from what could be. So that's why I think they're important.
Okay. You can have relationships. No, we spoke about addiction. You know, that's a relationship.
Yeah, definitely. Activities, certain things that you do, you develop relationships with them.
Yeah.
Although sometimes it's a one-way thing, you know, because if it's an activity, that activity doesn't have thoughts and feelings, but the way that it makes you feel ultimately is whether you've got a healthy relationship with it or not. So yeah, you're right, definitely.
It's a bit like, it's just like now, I mean, obviously we just started this podcast, but literally about 3-4 minutes ago I just spoke to mum, your nan, my mum, your nan, and I ain't spoke to her for a few days. And, you know, she's 73 years old. I just FaceTimed her. She's in Cyprus at the moment. And it's amazing when you talk to someone how you feel fulfilled after, no?
Yeah, definitely.
You know, it's a bit like, is she okay? Yeah, apart from her knees hurting or whatever. You know, it's nice to hear their voices. So the reason why I mentioned my mum and listening to her voice, and I spoke about like the individual being on his own and he can cope being on his own, us being sort of like pack creatures, or you know, species that needs to be in packs, it's a coping mechanism. Us as an individual, I can rely on you emotionally, physically, you can rely on me, and you know, we can
work together.
We work together, you know, as well as like we speak about my mum or my dad when he was alive, you know, my brothers, my sisters. I mean, we all have a different type of relationship. You know, the way I speak to my mum was completely different to the way I spoke to my dad. The way I spoke to my sister is completely different to the way I speak to my brother. And even like you girls as well. So if you can remember when we spoke about family, do you remember when we spoke about family? It's a very similar topic to what we're going to be speaking about today. So we have different levels of connection and response. So the way I would talk to my mum would not be the same way I would talk to you.
Of course.
Same respect and the same energy and effort.
There's a different formula
it's
for
a different
it.
It's a different way of talking. And that's what I feel, creates the different types of relationships. Bit like you, when I see you, the way you speak to your mum is different to the way you speak to me, your sisters, your nan, whatever. And I would never want to change that, because that's a great thing to have. I think
it shows that you've got respect. Yeah,
it shows respect,
and you know how to apply it to the different people. Because it's like often we as people are we are who we are, but we have different traits that we can bring out depending on who we're around. So the same way you might be around your friends, or the things you may say around your friends, you maybe would never say around your mum or around your dad. Same with like your siblings. So I think it's just about acknowledging that level of respect and boundary, so to speak, and knowing how to apply it. So yeah, I agree with you.
It's relationship needs energy though.
Yeah,
it needs work. It needs fueling, especially how can I say, like a partnership like me and your mum.
A romantic relationship.
Is that what it's called? A romantic relationship?
Yeah.
Is it, or a couple?
Well, you're a couple, but it's like
how would we say that? A relationship,
a romantic relationship.
Is that what it is?
Well, that's what I'd call it.
But a romantic relationship sounds like I'm going out for a candlelight dinner with her.
No, but it's more like...
What is it? Come on, you normally come out with these things straight away.
Yeah, but you've thrown me off, because I would have said romantic relationship.
I've got sexual relationship in my
head. No,
that's
what I'm saying. You've got... No, there is sexual relationship too. Like intimate relationship.
Intimate relationship. Yeah, but that could be... It does, that, right, okay.
But at the end of the day,
well,
I would
just say my wife then,
yeah, someone you're romantically involved with, yeah? That's how I would kind of summarise it.
So, like, with example now, with my mum, it don't need energy.
No, it just is naturally as it is. Yeah, you take the good with the bad. Yeah. It will never change that mum and son dynamic.
There's a boundary, like... don't swear, or don't get loud.
Don't you swear around your mum?
I can do.
I was going to say, I'm sure I've heard you swear.
I've heard my mum swear. Fucking hell!
I've never heard her swear.
She doesn't say that. She goes, "But that bastard."
Okay,
that's what she says. That bastard. I don't shout.
Yes, you bloody do.
No, I don't shout. I will try to keep away from shouting as much as possible. It won't be something that just sparks me off, and I would hold myself.
Yeah. See, like for me, with my mum and with you, obviously I would swear playfully. Like I do it to you all the time. But with like mum, there's a difference between like swearing around them and swearing at them. Like I would never enrage swear at you guys, or like call you names, or like no. So
so there's a different attitude towards each person. So when it comes to, say, like your mum, a romantic relationship, it needs energy. It needs work.
You can't just sit back and expect it to just...
No, because we are two different people. We come from two different backgrounds. We come from two different bloodlines. I can't change her internals, and I don't want to. And, I've got different internals, and I would not change my internals for her, because I feel like that's what I love your mum for. I love her for who she is. I wouldn't want her to be something that I would mould her into. And the same with me as well. So with that sort of relationship, it takes energy. It takes energy, but a good energy, not a bad energy. It's not an energy where you're like, oh, here we go again. It's exciting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So do you still find it exciting to this day, you and Mum's relationship?
I love it.
Dare you say no?
No, but look, if I wasn't, one thing about what my pastors taught me is time. I keep saying this to you. Time is so important. You cannot get it back. So why would I want to waste my why would I want to waste my time lying to myself about a relationship that I'm putting the wrong energy in to try and get the right response back? It don't work.
Yeah.
So I want to put good energy, positive energy into my relationship that I know it just fuels what we've already got.
Yeah, magnifies it.
Yeah. It's not trying to create something that is not there.
Yeah.
So, but it needs energy. We still go through our ups and downs. You got to remember as well, I'm not with my mum every day. I'm not with my brother every day or my sister every day. I'm with your mum every day. So there's going to be times where she wants to rip off my head. There's going to be times I want to rip her head off. But at the end of the day, we've learned to know, if we have a little scream and a shout and whatever, it stops.
Let's not carry it into the next day or something else.
That is bigger than what it was. You know how many people out there, they, I don't know, they spilt a bit of tea. Before you know it, it's turned into World War III. Kids are seeing this. It's not good. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I'm not going to say me and your mum's relationship has always been amazing. Everyone goes through their ups and downs, but we know when it's not right. Yeah. And that's important, because when we know it ain't right, something is said, especially when you put good energy into something and you're not getting that energy back. You're like, something's not right here.
Yeah, you can sense it.
And you say it. You talk about it. It's important.
Okay. So you and Mum have been together for how long now? 30
years.
30 years.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
30 years, yeah. Like what I said, we've been through our ups and downs, and we're going to go through our ups and downs. And I wouldn't expect any relationship not to go through their ups. My mum and dad's went through their ups and downs. And if anyone ever said to me they don't go through ups and downs, or they don't argue, or they don't bicker, there's something wrong with your relationship, because that means that you're just floating. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're just floating. It's important that
you're settling almost. You're not like...
You're not putting energy into it.
Yeah, yeah.
You're not putting energy into it. Look, I was never always great at relationships. You know what I mean? I was never ever... the book itself will tell you. I mean, the book at the beginning, it tells you how distant I was from your mum. Yeah. How your mum used to battle with me all the time. Why am I not at home? And I was always out, doing just what I had to do. And, look, there's going to be guys out there that are going to be listening to this and go, yeah, I get it. They call you on your phone and you're like, yeah, I'm going to be half an hour. And 2 hours have gone by and you ain't even left that place yet. And there's still an hour and a half. Then you start thinking to yourself, fucking hell, I fucked this right up. So, this went on for many, many, many years. But your mum, she stuck by it. You know what I mean? She stuck by it. So that was in my early years. But you've got to remember as well, Ree, that now, even though we spoke about family previously, now we had you very young. Yeah. So there was having you very young. I know it sounds really strange, but there was part of my childhood taken away from me. Part of my youthism was taken. And maybe I escaped being like that. Maybe blazing away or doing what I was doing allowed me to still stay that child. But the relationship was always there. And at that time, when we was younger, I weren't putting the energy in to that relationship, or our relationship, me and your mum, that I put in today. And even the last 10 years, I've been with your mum 30 years. So the last 10 years, I've made up for it, I believe. And I regret it the 20 years before.
Yeah. I was just going to ask you, do you regret that whole...
I regret all of it.
Because honestly, I look at you and Mum's relationship and I genuinely love it. I do. I can see how, even after all this time, you're still so into each other. And yeah, you argue. Like, I see you guys argue when you do. But I don't think it ever comes from a bad place. I feel like there's always a reason behind it. You guys communicate very well with each other, even if it may be screaming at each other. But you communicate very well and you tackle that problem and you get over it. And I feel like that's been something that you've shown me. Like, communication is very important. If you don't communicate, you only can go by vibe. And sometimes that vibe can get a little bit misconstrued. So how did you and Mum meet? Do you want to tell everyone the story of you and Mum?
It's a strange one. And I know it sounds really, really weird what I'm going to tell you, but I met your mum before I even met her.
In what way? What do you mean?
I dreamt of her.
What? You dreamt of Mum?
I dreamt of Mum.
Okay.
Yeah.
What
you think I'm
happened in
bloody
the dream?
joking?
What?
I dreamt of Mum when I was about 15.
Okay.
16 years old, I dreamt of her. And I can always remember I dreamt of her and I was like, I love that woman. I love that woman with all my heart.
What did she do in the dream that made you love her so much?
I can't remember. I can't tell you. I can't tell you what the dream was actually about.
Okay.
But I remember when... So I was in the last couple of weeks of my college, at hairdressing college. And I can remember I was in the final stages of it. So when you're in the final stages of your hairdressing college, they move you up into the front of the college, which is like a salon. And it runs like a salon. So what they're doing is they're giving you an experience. So you obviously when you first start, the first week you're doing, I don't know, scissor work, then blow drying, then perming, then colouring, then this and then. And once you've got it all in and all that, you move to the final stage where you're in literally like a salon. And people would come in and you'd be cutting their hair for free, getting experience. And I can remember I was sitting there like that, and this place was absolute... Right, so in the book, you're going to read this. Yeah? You're going to read this in the book. So whoever reads this now, whoever's going to hear this, is going to somehow deja vu it when they read my book. When they read it, yeah. Okay? So they're going to go, I knew that was going to happen. No, it's because I've told you. All right? So there's a lot of bits that I haven't told you in the book, but there's this bit I'm going to tell you. So... We was all sitting there in the front bit of this class where, there must be about 20 students, 25 students.
Right, so where were you? Put it into perspective.
I'm going to tell you. So our college was based on Dean Street in Soho. Okay, so we was in central London. The first time I'd ever ventured into London from southeast London. You got to remember, being in southeast London, you never came out of it. So going into central London... And you see the different colours and the sexualities and shapes and sizes and confidence and the bright lights and the foods and, I've never seen Chinatown before and the theatre, Shaftesbury Avenue, Leicester Square, Piccadilly Circus. Back then you had the Trocadero, if you guys remember the Trocadero. It was a place in the middle of Leicester Square where everyone would go and play the latest computer games, arcades, whatever. And, London just brought me alive. I was like, wow, what have I been missing out? But, anyway, getting back to just breaking down, because you asked me where we were. It was the summer of 94. I believe it was 94. No, when was you born?
96.
94. I got that right. You go and get
brownie points.
Yeah, the summer of 94. And I found myself. I came out. Talking about all this domestic violence and all this shit and everything like that. I become an adult. I was allowed to come out. And I ended up doing this course, and it was an amazing course. I'm good at hairdressing, you know, so I thrived in it. I attached myself to it, and being on the last stage of it, you know, I think it was like 2 weeks in the salon area, and I can remember the tutor at that time. His name was called Gary, and it was an amazing. It was Gary and Tony. It was a Greek Tony and an English Gary, and I can remember we was all very close. And I can remember we were sitting there in a circle, and he was like going through a few things, whatever. And then in the corner of this place was full of mirrors. Full of mirrors. It was everywhere was a fucking mirror. So I remember looking up and looking into the mirror, and it reflected off another mirror into another mirror. And then I saw this dark-haired girl walk past. And as I see her walk past, I went, oh. And I couldn't see her because there were so many mirrors. I was like... And then all of a sudden, I spotted her in another mirror. But I couldn't... But I saw it, and I thought, oh.
You didn't know where exactly she was, but she
it
was somewhere.
Something that it just made me lock on. It made me lock on. And I saw her, and she had really short hair, really, really short, dark hair. It was like a 94 haircut. Do you know what I mean? It was and absolutely stunning. Stunning. She still is stunning today. And I just looked, and I was like, and I lost her. I lost her. And as we was talking again, I've looked to the right, and I've seen her walk. All body. She's got a long dress on, dark dress on, dark top, sleeves, summer, little boobies. You know what I mean? She was 17 years old, and I just went, rah. And I was just like, wow. And when I looked on, the first thing I thought about when I saw her was, she's the one in my dreams. As soon as I saw her and I locked on, I became shy. I became withdrawn, like weak. And that was the first time I'd ever seen your mum.
Aww.
The first time. But she hadn't seen me.
Yeah.
She was chasing Dave outside.
I was going to say.
Yeah, she was like,
she didn't even
she had
know
a
you were
walk.
there.
Your mum had a walk. She used to wear these high heels and trot, 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 trot. She was like, she still is.
Fierce.
Honestly, mate, she was the best looking thing I've ever seen in my life.
Aww.
Yeah.
And then what happened? So
So
how did you get her?
How did I get her?
Yeah. How did you get her to become interested in men?
You know that time I saw her, you know, I'd always, you know, when I say like I'm pretty creative, yeah. You know, at that time I'd always say your mum was the girl in the mirror. You know, she was the lady in the mirror. That I found my love through a mirror. You know, and looking at her, I just thought she is well and truly out of my depth. She's no way going to look at me. What the fuck is she going to look at me for? Who am I? From South East London. You know what I mean? My dress sense was a bit shit. Well, I don't know. I felt like it was.
Okay.
She just looked smart. I hadn't spoke to her or nothing. And I can remember there used to be a place on Creek Street, and it was called Bruno's. It was a coffee shop. And I can remember when I used to go over there, get a coffee, and I came back, and as I was coming back to the college, which was on Dean Street, she was outside. And I was like, oh my God, that's her. Oh my God. And that's where I made my first move on her. To not move, but talk. That's when I broke my silence with her. Have I mentioned this on another podcast?
No.
No?
No.
And no?
No.
Okay.
No, you haven't.
Okay, I just feel like so she was outside and she was smoking and she was having a fag, and that was the first time I sort of like, I was just going to walk in. I thought, fuck it, I'm going to say something. And I never smoked at that time. And I can remember I was like, oh, excuse me, babe, you got a... you got a fag? You don't have a spare fag? I mean, that would have put her straight off. He's a smoker with no fags. And she offered me a fag, and I tried to smoke. I must have looked like a right div, coughing or whatever. And that was the first time I'd ever spoke to her. And I laid eyes on her, and I walked in because I was a bit shy. How it ended up was I was really enjoying myself in London at that time. I was out every night. So as much as I was with your mum, I mean, I saw your mum, a lot of girls fancied me.
Okay.
All right, so...
Hard life has met, mate.
I'm going to be honest, your mum would tell you, all the girls, they all loved me.
Why did they love you?
I don't know.
Funny.
Yeah, I don't know, but they did. Yeah, they
Look
did.
at him, he's gone all red. He's there like, I remember the days when I had it.
But this was the thing, was I found myself.
Yeah.
So I came out of South East London where, you know, all my mates were very confident and everything like that. And then, you know, I've gone to Soho and I'm in the middle of everything. Everyone came from everywhere. Not just from London, they come from all over the world.
Yeah.
So, you know, there was all these women, girls, whatever, and they were all like...
throwing themselves at you.
Yeah.
You didn't know where to look.
And, you know, it was, you know, I was big-headed. You know, I got big-headed. And, you know, but when I saw your mum, it was just like, rah, I love this girl. You know, I can learn to love this girl. Do you know what I mean? Because, you know, we talk about relationships, and we're going to get into this because remember I just said you cannot love someone straight away. You can't fall in love with anyone. That's fucking impossible. There's no such thing as I fell in love. What you did, you got infatuated, and you became attracted. You become attracted to her more than you become attracted to anyone else. You became, there was an energy, a magnetic field than anything else. So that drawed you in. But love? No, it wasn't love. I was mesmerized by her. You know, I'd come into school, to college the next day, and is she here? Is she here? And I started asking questions. Who is she? And I found out she actually worked for the college. And she worked in a salon. Oh, shit. She's going to kill me if I can't remember. I knew she worked in Ealing Broadway. But she would do like weekends in Kilburn. Yeah, Kilburn. And I think, she's going to love me now. Yeah. And she'd do some weekends in Tottenham Court Road because we had salons all over the place.
Okay.
And she worked for the company, and she would come in once a week every month. So that last week she was there that week, which was my last 2 weeks. So once she's gone back to work, that was it. I was never going to see her again. So I can remember I graduated, and I'd said to your mum, I just came and said, look, we're all graduating. And I don't know what it was, because up to that time, I couldn't talk to your mum. I didn't have this... All I knew that I was physically attracted to her, but I didn't know how she felt about it towards me. And I can remember we'd all graduated, and we was all going up to this place called the Buzz Bar in Leicester Square, behind McDonald's. And I'd said to her, look, we've graduated. If you want, come up. So all this is in the book in detail. And I can remember reading this chapter, and I loved it.
Smiling from ear to ear.
Oh, I loved it. Because as much as I talk about all the dark sides of, you know, growing up, there's an amazing love story in it. You know, and you know, and you know, me and your mum, we went through a lot. You know, you got to remember from very, very young. So anyway, getting back to Buzz Bar, I can remember I invited her, and there was about 20 of us all had gone, maybe 30 of us had gone, and the place was rammed by all the people that had been graduated, but she wasn't there, and I thought, oh, she ain't gonna fucking come. Do you know what I mean? But there was part of me that forgot about her. I'm not going to lie.
Caught up in the moment.
Caught up in the moment.
Getting on with it.
Yeah, I was having a drink. There was this thing called Happy Hour there, and I learned to drink Tennent's. Can you believe it? Oh, mate, it was in a jug, and I was getting out of my nut. But it was cheap. It was like £3 a jug or whatever it was back then. I can't really remember. And we'd all share it, and we'd get smashed. And I was a good dancer. I was a mover. Trust me, I was a great dancer. And once the tunes would come on, bang, I was in the middle and I would dance. I can remember I got halfway through the evening, about 10 o'clock. And as I'm dancing, I look up and I can see the doors of the bar open, or the club or wherever it was open. And your mum walked in. And I was like, fucking hell, she's here. You know, and she'd come in with, who did she come in with? Did she come in with a school friend, Yvette? Or did she come in with, I think she had a friend called Claire. Was it Yvette?
We'll ask her when we go in.
We'll ask her, yeah?
Yeah.
She's coming, I can't remember who the girl was, but she comes in, I think it's Yvette. And she came in, and I was like, shit, she's here. That was it, mate. Everything just changed, you know?
Stop dancing, put your head down.
See, you've got to remember that every time I see your mum, or I spoke to your mum, was I was at college. Now I'm pissed. So I'm a bit brave.
Got a bit of confidence.
Got a bit of confidence. I'm doing my dance, my John Travolta. I can dance anywhere I want. I'm a woman's man. I'm time to time. You can't run. And I was like giving it all the strut. And I mean, we're going to get into like dating, yeah? Like modern day dating and old school dating.
Yeah.
And back then it was the eyes, mate. And I can remember she's walked in and I've walked in and I've clocked her. She's clocked me. And I thought, she clocked me.
Did she look at you, yeah?
She looked at me and I was dancing. And again, you know, that John Travolta was kicking in. Remember Grease? Remember Grease, yeah?
Yeah.
So look, remember we spoke about films, yeah?
Yeah.
So all my Grease moves were coming out on that dance floor.
Okay. At this point, had she given you...
Johnny DeVito. No, what's his name?
John Travolta.
Yeah, but what was his name?
Danny Zuko.
Danny Zuko. I was Danny Zuko.
Okay.
In Buzz Bar that night.
Okay.
And she became my Sandra D.
Right.
And I can remember she walks in and she gives... Mum was a good dancer. She had one move.
I know what move it is.
It was this... Yeah, it was just like whiny move. You know what I mean? She had this whiny move. And
she still does it.
She still does it now. But she'll do it a bit differently. She'll wind that way, then that way. And I can remember anyway.
You didn't answer me. Was she giving you an impression that she was?
No.
Okay.
Nah.
So you didn't. Okay.
Nah. Yeah, you are right. No, she didn't.
Okay.
But I tried. So I was just like eyeing her up, seeing where she was going. Anyway, the night had gone on. She's probably had a couple of drinks or whatever. And anyway, I had my mate, Stephen, and he was sitting down, and my mate was from when I was a kid. And he ended up coming up there.
Yeah. So he didn't go to your college?
He never went to the college, we ended up meeting up, but somehow he knew your mum.
Right.
I don't know how this managed to happen, but he knew your mum. So he was sitting down on the side, and your mum went and sat down beside him. And I saw him. And I thought, what the fuck are you doing?
Okay.
He's chatting her up. I can hear her. What the fuck are you doing? You know I like her. She's my Sandra Day. And anyway, so what I did was I went and sat down on this side of him. So you got to remember, you got your mum, Steve, and me on this side. So I sandwiched Steve in the middle.
Yeah.
But what I was doing was I was listening.
Okay.
I was like... And I heard the bastard turn around and go, give us your number. And I went...
You fucking idiot.
What the fuck are you doing? You know I like her. He went, go on, yeah, give us your number. And your mum...
was going to give it to him.
I think she got a pen out. When
you say number, was this like mobile phone or is this like...
Well,
house phone?
No, it was 01.
Brick phone?
No, it was 01 then, or 02.
Okay.
It's not, now it's 0208, yeah?
Well, a landline is, yeah.
No, back then it was 01 or 02.
Okay.
Right, then you done the main number. So I heard him say, "Oh, you got a number?" And she got looking for a pen or whatever. Then that's when I lost it. I sort of went, "What the fuck are you doing?" Yeah. And I looked at your mum and I went, "You ain't gonna give her your number. You ain't gonna give him your number."
Yeah.
She went, "Why?" And I went, "Why?" I said, "You're gonna give me your number. I'm gonna have your number. Don't give it to him.
Right.
You give it to me."
Okay.
And she went, "Really?" And I went, "Yeah." And she never even gave me my number. She jumped on me.
No, she didn't.
Yeah.
She jumped on you.
She jumped on me. Yeah.
And did what? Started doing this?
Started snogging me. And I've never snogged anyone like that. So,
Really?
Yeah. So
what
she's
a
like,
little slag.
I was like, yeah. I was like, your mum was like doing this wine on me, like.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was a bit taken back by it. So you got to remember, she's walked into a. She's
definitely drunk.
Yeah, I was like, she's fucked. So it got to the stage where I was trying to eyeball her, and the next minute she's thrown herself over me. So you can imagine I'm like this, like, what the fuck's going on here? One minute I'm trying to get eyes. The next minute she's eating me, and I was a bit like I was just a little bit like, I don't know. I was taken back. Drink your drink.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
That's too funny.
So that's how that happened. And that was the first time. So you can imagine, I didn't think your mum fancied me at that time. Not at all.
Yeah.
I felt like she just thought I was a pain in the arse. But I was shocked. And then, yeah, she kissed me. And that was it. We just locked on from that moment. From that moment, we just literally become obsessed with each other. You know, your mum was a right cow as well.
Yeah.
She was a right bitch.
Why?
She used to go, "Yeah, I'll meet you at Tottenham Court Road Tube Station at 6 o'clock. I'll be there still at 8 o'clock, walking up and down. Like a lonely little lost soul."
Oh, did you wait for her though?
Mate,
Did she come though?
Again and again and every night. And I was like, she's a joker, this girl.
What
She's
was her
late.
excuse?
And she'd walk up with her little hair. And she'd always have something different, like these little bits. I don't know. But yeah, it was
Oh.
yeah, that's how me and your mum got together. And she was only 17 at that time and I was only 18. Was she 17 and I was 18? Yeah. Yeah, so that's how we first got together in Buzz Bar. So yeah.
Oh, that was a funny story. I'm not gonna lie, because I knew the story, obviously. But I didn't. I don't think I knew that bit.
What bit?
She jumped on you and started attacking you.
She went like that. Steve, get out of the fucking way.
I've been waiting.
Yeah, I've been waiting for him. Like, have you? Like, yeah.
You must have gone home that night. Like,
I was like,
I'm traumatized.
I didn't want to sleep just in case I woke up and it wasn't real.
Aww,
Yeah.
that's cute though. And then from that moment on, you were just like inseparable.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I can remember that night we left and she gave me her number. And I rung your mum the following day from a telephone box on Bromley Road. I've never rung a girl in my life, ever. What the fuck am I going to say? Hello, what are you doing today? What have you done today? Like, I'm not married to her, so I didn't know what to say. So my nerves were going. And I can remember I rung your mum and your nan answered.
Yeah.
And I went, "Is Jessica there?" And she went, "Jessica?" And
Why did you say Jessica?
"Yeah, Jessica. I've never met a Jessica in my life. And her name's Rebecca."
Why did you say Jessica?
My nerves. My nerves.
Jessica, you know?
Yeah. I don't even know if it was Jessica, but I think it was something like that. And
Didn't Mum go, "Who the fuck is
she did,
Jessica?"
but she went, "Doesn't matter, I love you.
Okay.
You can call me Jessie
If you want. That's jokes.
So it was all new to me. All that relationship was new to me. You know, like.
Did you meet Mum's mum and dad quite quickly?
No.
No, how long did that go on for?
No. I knew your mum was the one.
You knew. How did you know? Other than the dream.
So, I dreamt of her.
I know, but besides the dream...
let me get to the point. I dreamt of her.
Dream. Because not everyone has dreams about the fucking
I dreamt of her,
love of their life.
I knew it was her. So the moment I kissed your mum, the smell, the feel, the softness, the sound that came out of her mouth. And I don't mean that.
Okay, her
I
voice.
about the way she spoke. Just the way she was. And look, it's going to be a bit strange for what I'm going to tell you now. But in today's age, what happened between me and your mum would possibly never happen today. You know, where, you know, I had mates that would meet women and within 2 or 3 days, a week, they'd slept with them. It took me 6 months to sleep with your mum. 6 months. And I knew at that time, I knew your mum wasn't a easy girl. And maybe your mum was testing me at the time to see if I was going to hang on. But yeah, it took 6 months. Yeah. And you got to remember, we were 17, 18.
I was going to say, well,
full
you
of
guys...
testosterone, you know, we was just found myself, blah, 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 blah. And...
Wait, hold on. How did Mum drink in this buzz bar place?
How did she?
How old did you have to be to drink?
I don't know.
She was 17.
She was 17, yeah.
Okay. Maybe
17,
they weren't
18.
so hot on, like, ID and all that stuff.
No,
yeah.
and, you know, they weren't like that. They weren't like that. They just tried to feel like it was just about numbers then.
Yeah.
And I can remember... that night, I can remember we stayed out all night that night.
At Buzz
that
Bar.
was right. We ended up staying around my mate's house in Herne Hill.
Okay.
And it was the first time your mum had ever stayed out all night. And she run home.
Did that night at Buzz Bar?
That night, yeah.
Okay, so and you never slept together?
No.
What did you do? Just...
My jaw was killing me. I was sick of it after. I don't like kissing.
I don't want to do this no more.
My jaw is killing me. You know, when you see each other, like, you're like...
You look like a fucking sheep right now. That lamb.
But the lamb, my dad. Yeah, that's how I felt. I felt like the lamb.
Okay. So, yeah, you stayed with each other that night.
We stayed with each other. The first time she stayed out all night. I can remember we stayed round a friend of mine. His name was called Alex. He had a place in Herne Hill. And we'd all stayed round there and we was all like sessioning and drinking and it all went mental. And we just cuddled and kissed
all night long.
All night. And yeah, she ended up going home really early in the morning. And she got in trouble. She got into really bad trouble because your nan and your granddad. Yeah, your nan and your granddad. I'm saying your mum and your dad.
I was going to say,
lost. Your nan and your granddad, they were worried all night. So you asked me a question about nan and puppy just now, yeah? So the first time I met them.
Yeah.
So it took a while. I think it was about a good 6-7 months. I think it felt like it after we met. And your nan was living in Acton at that time. No, they just moved to Hayes in Middlesex. And I walked into... I used to go around your nan's... How does this go in? Hold on. Seems like there's a load of images coming to me at the moment. I can remember the first time I met your nan, she was in the kitchen and she was a one Cockney woman.
She is.
Hello, but you all right? I went, you all right? Yeah, and then your granddad was like, hello. Si, señora mía, comparo, and I was like, mate, this shit don't work. What's going on here? And I can remember it was like, I couldn't work it out. But they loved each other, and that's what mattered, you know. And and when I saw they loved each other, it made me realise your mum knew how to love. and you know it was nice. It was really nice. But that was the first time they met. I met your nan was in Hayes and Harlington.
How was your mum and dad meeting mum for the first time?
I can't really remember my dad meeting mum.
Okay.
I don't remember that, but I do remember your nene, my mum, meeting your mum, and I think it was like your mum had been naughty again in your nan's eyes, and she ended up sneaking into my mum's house, and we ended up sleeping in my bed. For some reason, I feel like Natasha was downstairs, your auntie.
Okay. At your house?
Yeah. And she was with my mate.
So, alright.
Yeah. It was we had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And anyway, getting back to my mum. So your mum had really short hair. Mm-hmm. Really short hair. So your nan, my mum, always used to come walking in the room in the morning, hoovering. Like I'd be sleeping and she'd be coming in, opening up curtains. Come on, Nada, get up. And I can remember I was sleeping and your mum was sleeping. Your mum was with me in my bed. And I can just before the door was going to open, yeah, I knew Nene was going to walk in. So I grabbed your mum and I put her down and covered her up.
Okay.
Yeah? And she come in, Nene come in, and she's just doing this, and she's looking at me, and she's looking at the blanket.
She's like, Mehmet,
Like,
you put on a lot of weight.
She was like, what is this? Why you do, what's this under the blanket?
Yeah.
And I was like, Mum! And as I said that, I tried to lower the blanket down, and your mum's head came out like this. Problem was, your mum had a short hair. Yeah. So my mum looked at her and went,
Is that a boy?
You gay? Are you gay? And I was like,
what she said to
no,
you?
I'm not gay. She went, is that my boy? And I was like, no, mum.
He's a
And
funny
your mum was
woman.
like, hello, my name's Rebecca.
Aww.
And she went, Rebecca? And I said, Mum, please get out.
Did she not tell
And
you
that was
off?
the first time your nan had ever met your mum.
Didn't she
So
ever go at you?
Yeah.
What did she
so
say?
can you imagine, like, I've met this girl, she's in bed with you. What kind of a girl is this? Slag! Bitch! What kind of girl is this? So you can imagine at that time, and your poor mum.
Yeah.
Your poor mum. She was like, I don't think your mum likes me. I was like, I don't think she likes you neither.
She don't like me now.
Yeah. She thought you was Dave. But yeah, it was that was the first time she ever met her. And you know, it wasn't easy after that, because you know, your nan now realised that I was dealing with women, you know, dealing with girls. So, you know, my sexual appetite was getting hungry, and I was boom, and yeah, it wasn't easy at the beginning, because you got to remember your mum fell pregnant very early. So that moment with me telling your nan, Nene, that she was pregnant. Yeah. Oh my God, your other nan was like, oh my God, I love it.
This is the best thing.
I was like, really? She's 17 years old. Like, they don't care. Yeah, she was like, more babies. And I was like, shit.
Yeah.
And my mum was like,
get rid of her.
My mum was not happy.
I know.
My mum was not happy, and it's like, you're going to ruin your life. You haven't got no job. You don't know where you're staying. You got no money. What you doing? You stupid boy. You know. So, you know, my mum and your mum, I don't think your mum tried to earn my mum's respect. You know, she, like, a little bit, is your mum ever going to accept me? And my mum...
Do you think your mum was ever bothered that mum was Spanish?
Yeah.
It bothered her.
Yeah, of course it did.
Yeah.
We come from a very cultural ethnicity. whatever, you know, we spoke about these things, you know, family,
Yeah.
you know, so.
Do you think it was the same for mum's
No,
parents?
that was the first time my mum, that was the first time your dad, my dad met your mum.
Okay.
Have I spoke about the prawns?
No, you haven't. Yeah, go on.
You got to read it in the book.
Okay.
You got to read it in the book. Prawns, right? You got to read it in the book, okay? I'm not going to go too deep into it, but what an amazing encounter.
And that was the first time
that was the first time your mum had met my dad, and my dad blew your mum away. Yeah? And how he took her on, not like my mum.
Yeah.
So my dad was very different. You know, he was a bit like, "Poor go on, son, get in there." My mum was like, "What are you doing to my son?" So yeah, that was that moment where my dad met. So where was I?
Well, I mentioned about, did they have a problem with mum being Spanish?
Yeah, there was
Do you
a problem.
think mum's
so
parents...
Mum always thought that she wouldn't get accepted.
Okay.
Your nan and your granddad on your mum's side accepted me straight away. Accepted me straight away. You know, bang, straight in, boom, no different. But on my side, it was different. But you know, with you, you know, on look, this is really hard to say, but you know, my mum said, "Get rid of the baby."
I know.
Get rid of the baby. It's gonna ruin your life. But we didn't, and you're sitting here now. You're sitting here now. So you know, that's you know, my mum must regret saying that.
Yeah.
You know, because she
Obviously,
idolizes you.
Yeah, you can't take it personally. She obviously was just thinking of you as a young boy.
You do.
Yeah.
You do. You do.
So I don't look at it like that. But still, Nene, I mean, it wasn't very nice.
But yeah, now they love each other.
Yeah.
You know, I think once, you know, once we'd had our second child, you know, me and your mum went through a few ups and downs as well. You know, addictions affected me big. You know, I kept it. You know, like I said to you previously, that I was a professional drug taker. You know, I knew how to take it. I kept it away from mum, Nene, and Dede, my mum, my dad. You know, I made them look at me like I was the perfect son, but underneath I was just naughty.
Little did they know.
I just kept it so clean. The only one that really knew me was your mum. So you know, the relationship itself had this up and down, you know, but they all do. They all do.
So it's very clear that dating and relationships are very different in today's world compared to back when you met mum. There's so many outside influences that contribute to the failure of relationships, and I often feel like my generation specifically are so easy to just break up, and you know, oh, it's too much, you know, like you know, you mentioned the spilt milk kind of thing. Something like that will occur, and it's like, no, we ain't spoken for like 4 days, we're broken up. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's so easy for people to just go their separate ways rather than trying to work at their relationship. Why do you think it's so different, like back in the days compared to now? Because more often than not, you hear people don't last. Relationships don't last.
Look, I think a lot of it is to do with, you know, like I always say, your surroundings. You know, your parents. Like my mum and dad, they stay together. Your mum's mum and dad, they stay together. So, you know, if you now see your mum and dad argue, fight, but come back together, and you see they love each other, you will learn that you don't split up after an argument. My mum and dad don't do it. So I don't do it. But that's not saying to you, don't split up with your partner. Because if you're not right, you're not fucking right. So me being brought up in this environment, even though I spoke about, you know, alcoholism, whatever in the book or whatever. My mum and dad, their fundamental relationship was sticking together. No one, they worked together, they lived together, they slept in the same bed together, they went through war together. So I see them battle so much. So when you see them battle, and then if I have an argument with, say, your mum, that argument's not as bad as the argument my mum and dad have, and they haven't split up. So why the fuck are we gonna split up? You understand? And if your mum would have gone to me, oh, I'm out of here, then I would have said she's a weak woman. She's not good for me. But your mum had been brought up with the same background, and we both had the same concept, the same ingredients into a relationship. So knowing that even if we go through bad times, we have to talk about it. You understand? And what was it? What was the problem? Why did it happen? How did it occur? And when you actually think about it, it's fucking hell, it was only spilt milk. You know what I mean? You know, how many times your mum turned up late, or this, that and the other, and it would make me go mad. But at the end of the day, she's only late. You know what I mean? Compared to today's relationships, I think what's happened is with today's relationships is that people don't have patience. They just don't have patience. Or maybe people have realised the value of time. You know, I'm not going to spend the rest of my life with this person because I'm not feeling it. So I'm going to split it up. Or they're both not got the same ingredients. One has, one ain't. So this is why, like I'd always say to someone, me and your mum are chalk and cheese. We've got fuck all in common. Fuck all. Yeah? We don't have one interest we don't have nothing in common. And I think that's why our relationship works. Okay? Because I feel in a relationship, if you guys have something, when they go like, we'll talk about like dating websites and stuff like that. That shit. I can't get over how modern day people have got into inch, bumble, windle, mindle, swipe, marriage. What the fuck's going on here? I ain't got a fucking clue. But people have gone into it, and obviously, yeah, I hear a success story here and there or whatever. But it's them success stories that are keeping these people tied into these machines, that you're finding a future partner by a swipe because you're reading things that you've got in common or you like. And these poor men out there that, you know, they've never really been great with women. They haven't got a great confidence. And that's probably for the people that it does work for, because it saves a whole load of shit. But the majority of them guys that have got no confidence, and more than likely not on the good looking side, and they're going to struggle still. It just gives them an entry plan. And if that relationship ends up lasting, well done, mate. But that whole formula of dating by swiping and this and that, I feel like it's not like how me and your mum met. How we first spoke to each other, eyed each other up, smelt each other, just got to learn each other, and understood that we come from two different backgrounds, and learned to respect each other from the moment go. So remember when I say to you that you do not love someone straight away. Love is an element of a load of ingredients that come into it. You know, you have trust, you have, you know, commitment and this, that, and you have memories. You start creating a bond with each other and feelings and all these emotional connections, and you start to respect, and you start to obey, and you start to honor, and you don't even mean to do these things. These things just start to happen. I want the best for this person. I plan a future with this person. I want this with this person. You start to realise when she cries, I cry. When she laughs, I'm happy. When all these things start to fall in, you actually start to realise, I love this woman. I love this woman with all my heart. She's me now. I'm part of that person. So when you got all these people that are... So for example, now I was learning your mum. So when you got all this modern day dating going on where, you know, you look at this person and you go, oh, she's fucking gorgeous, isn't she? And then you start... Mate, look, trust me. You're not going to be the only person that says she's gorgeous. How many people have swiped that bird? How many? God, she plays tennis. I play tennis. She lives here. I live near there. She wants this. She wants that. So, can you imagine how that guy starts reading that shit and starts going, this girl's for me. But that girl don't respond. Or they go out on a date and that girl don't like him. How hard must that be for him? What happens if that guy does do well with that woman? Then he starts thinking to himself, yeah, but I could swipe and find someone better. Because there's loads on option here. So if I go out on a date with someone from a dating website and I have a slight inkling it ain't right or it ain't perfect, I go, oh, fuck it, I go to someone else. But there's no such thing as perfect. Your mum winds me up. I'll wind your mum up. You know, like today she said to me, can you do a bit of decorating? I went, no, I'm going shooting. So I went shooting, I wind her up. But she respects it because she knows I don't get out. Your mum wants to go to the gym. Go to the gym. I hope it makes you feel better for your own being. You understand what I mean? So all these things, it's about give and take. It's not that I don't like her going to the gym. I want her to go to the gym. But she goes every fucking day. Do you understand? So it's like, bloody hell, what's going on here? You know? I'm like, what's she doing? Is she swiping? What's she doing the gym like that? You know, so yeah, so the relationships. You know, we have all different types of relationships, and the reason why I've gone a bit in depth with your mum is because you guys can see on the YouTube channel that I talk about your nan and your granddad and my brother and my sister and my uncles and my aunties and this and that, but I never talk about your mum. I never show your mum.
Yeah.
So, but your mum...
You do talk about her in every podcast,
do.
though.
No,
yeah.
I do.
At least
I
once.
do. But it's your mum.
Mm.
And this is why I love her. Because I go off track.
Yeah.
She puts me back on.
Yeah.
She puts me back. And sometimes she'll be like, you know, she might say it in a loud, abruptive way. But it seems to be that's the only language I understand.
Okay, it works. Yeah. I get you.
I don't want to upset her. You know, so there's a mutual understanding there because sometimes your mum needs to be put in line.
Of course, yeah.
So, you know, there's a way I need to talk to your mum. But we respect that, and we're not like, you know, we learnt this from our parents. And my mum and dad bickered. Your nan and your granddad on your mum's side bicker. Got a lot, you know, but they still stick together. And it brings up, look, no one is perfect. You know, you might find, you know, another woman that is got something, you know, maybe better than your mum, but there's other sides that are worse than your mum. So there's always going to be these up and down things, and the same with me.
Yeah.
You know, can I have a bit of your water?
No.
Can I have a bit of your water?
Maybe gone dry talking about mum so much. But yeah, I get you. I know what you mean.
Yeah, so... Yeah. Anything else? So talking about the relationships from previously to today, back then, you know, I can remember being in that bar or that club, and your mum and a tune would come on, Jodeci or Boys to Men, to the end of the road, and then I'd look at her and I'd be like, do you love me?
It's meant to be.
Is it me? I love you.
But us as humans, we all love that, don't we?
It's a romance.
We all love that whole, like, this is meant to be.
Yeah,
it's fate.
That's what gives you that thing. You know, how many people, I mean, not being funny, them fucking websites, you know, I got them at work. Yeah, I got them at work where I got clients that are going on dates all the time, all the time. And these selfie things, you know, these pictures, these best side.
Yeah.
You know, I've had people that have set up dates. They've walked into a bar, they've seen the bird,
and they look nothing like what they've
I'm
seen.
fucking out of here. I'm out of here, mate. That's not her.
Yeah.
And it's a completely different. And I feel sorry for him. And how must that woman feel sitting there going, where is he?
Aww.
Yeah.
I get you.
It's
100%.
not good. It's not good. You might, and these people spend a fortune on it. You know that?
Yeah.
So these big companies, trust me, these big companies, there's going to be a percentage of people that are just naturally good looking, and they would pull a bird anyway, that will do well on these websites.
Yeah.
Yeah? Find a nice bird, hit a certain age, I've had enough of fucking about, I want to settle down. But then you're going to get these other ones that are, you know, these companies are preying on their vulnerability and their weaknesses and their insecurities. They prey on it. And they send them all these bits.
Yeah.
This girl likes you. You fucking liar.
This one viewed your profile.
Yeah, this one stayed on your profile for 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Really? And then it's so sad.
Yeah, definitely.
And if you want to view it, you got to pay this money. You know? And look, I've never done it, but I know clients that have. And they tell me about it. And there must be an element. Like I said to one of my clients, I said, as a man, you swiping through these images, it must be, you know, when you get like pornography, was it called? Pornography, like triple X pornography. This must be like 1X pornography.
Yeah.
You know, when it's, oh my God, she's fit, let me click on it. Oh my God, she's in a bikini. Oh my God, she's in a bikini. She likes me.
Trust.
You understand what I mean? So it must be like a 1-star pornography. Yeah? And that's why they're stuck on it. And that's like when I say, you know, getting back to what we spoke about previously, about addiction. This shit is fucking addictive. Yeah? And they get a buzz from it. So you can imagine if they get a response from a woman, the dopamine must be like, boom, boom, boom. Knowing that this might not go anywhere. You know what I mean? But they've got to try. Because at the end of the day, when I was in Buzzbar in 1994 and I looked at your mum and I thought your mum didn't like me, yeah? And she did. I found out she fancied me from before. So I was a bit like, that girl that was in my dreams always loved me. And I always loved her. And it just meant that we had to come together. And there's going to be a certain percentage of people on that website that will happen. But there's going to be a lot of people
that it won't.
But what a wonderful thing that physically to go out and mingle and learn people and learn how. You understand what I mean? And I didn't know any of your mum's interests. I didn't know none of them. And thank God, all her interests, I didn't have any interest in them. Because I think that's what makes a relationship great. When you two don't have nothing in common, you've got so much to learn from each other.
Yeah.
You understand? It's no battle. It's not like you like golf, I like golf, I'm better than you, you're better than me. No, I'm better than you, no, it's like, show me.
Yeah.
Teach me. And I will teach you something. And that's where you learn to respect each other. You know what I mean? And enjoy it. You know what I mean? To see someone be happy is really important. Really,
because I think people are too fixated on how people make them feel, in a sense of, do you actually love that person for them or just for the feeling they give you about yourself? Yeah. Do you understand what I mean? I feel like social media is a really big thing too. You know, like there's amongst like my generation, you hear it all the time, like, oh, couples, but the boyfriend will like other girls' pictures on Instagram, you know, like creating this whole, how can I word it? Just disrespect in a way, which kind of becomes normalized in today's society. The same thing like with, I don't know, you may not know, who knows, but you know, you've got like the whole America strip club. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. There's a big culture out there.
Big culture out there, but like you're a married man and your girlfriend is completely fine with you going to the strip club. Like, what the hell? And I feel like people in the UK see that and think that kind of thing is okay.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean? Whole feminism thing comes into it too, with like women feeling like they can do what they want. And do you understand what I mean? I feel like sometimes like just like a battle of the sexes rather than complimenting each other.
Look, at the end of the day, there's a few, like, if you ask me about what do I think keeps a relationship healthy, yeah, you've got to keep each other a bit young.
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah, so for example, if I let myself go, your mum's got to tell me. She can't just let me just fucking deteriorate. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And the same as with your mum.
Yeah.
You know, with a relationship, I think it's really important that, and I must tell you now, yeah, and this is gospel, no lie. When I'm with your mum, I feel like I'm 18. That's it. I feel like I'm 18. And I feel like your mum feels like she's 17 when she's with me.
Yeah.
And I always made, because you got to remember, me and your mum did split up. All right, we split up when the shit hit the fan. Mate, it's all in the book, yeah? And, you know, I drove the relationship to the ground. And your mother couldn't take it no more. And I didn't blame her. But it's all in the book, the detail. Because I'd lost myself. You know, I would distance myself from everyone. But now we got together. We came back together like 15 years ago. 13 years ago.
Yeah,
we got back together 13 years ago. We had a big break. And one thing that we realised that we did, having children, and this is to all you guys out there that have had kids or having kids, remember, that kid cannot be your everything. Because that kid will take all your energy. And this is what happened to me and your mum. We just become mummy and daddy. And
forgot about
Mem
us. And Becky.
Yeah, we forgot about that buzz bar moment.
Yeah.
We forgot about that moment when we used to walk around Soho together hand in hand. You know, when we used to just listen, me and your mum used to go to Ealing Park. Yeah, Ealing Park. And we were so shy. We couldn't talk to each other. This is gospel truth. And we had to go and buy a bottle of Thunderbirds.
Right.
Yeah.
Get a little bit of confidence.
And a bit of confidence because we were so shy with each other. But as soon as we let go a bit, what did I say? A bottle of what?
Thunder something.
No, a bottle of Malibu and pineapple.
Right.
And it would be like, we'd drink it in there and drink and get drunk. And it was, you know what? We have to go back to them moments.
Yeah.
And they're the moments that made it beautiful. You know, they're the moments that made it Mem and Beck.
Yeah.
When we say moo and boo.
Aww.
You know, our connection. You know, and you know, when you have children, a lot of people get wrapped up in it.
Yeah.
And they just become mummy and daddy. And you can't help it.
No.
And that's why I'll always say, if you want my bit of advice when it comes to as a partnership, is to always come away, because you got to remember, after a while you're all going to have kids or whatever. You say, no, it's not always about the kid. So we and your mum, when we used to put you down and let Nanny, we used to go and lose ourselves. And we used to love it. It used to bring us back to
17, 18. Yeah.
And, you know, like, it was only not long ago we went to, where did we go?
George Michael.
And we loved it.
Yeah.
We absolutely loved it. And, well, I did.
Mum didn't.
No,
because Dad was getting chatted up.
I can't help it, can I?
It was quite funny, actually. Mum and Dad, Dad comes home, he's like, guess what, Beck? I've booked tickets to go and see George Michael. Now, I don't know who loves George Michael the most. Is it Mum or is it Dad? I think it's Dad, but it's debatable. I've got tickets to go and see George Michael.
No, I'm going to tell you what it is.
What?
Yeah? It's all called nostalgia.
Yeah, I know.
So what
I get you.
In 1994.
Yeah.
Yeah. When me and your mum the music was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when me and your mum met, music was our life.
Yeah, no, I get you.
It was our life. It was literally... I'm not saying it was George Michael. We was into jungle.
Yeah, no, you was into jungle.
I love jungle.
Mum weren't into jungle. Mum was into Bros and fucking...
No, she was into Madonna.
Madonna and all that.
She brought George Michael into my life.
Yeah. But anyway, we go back to the story, yeah? Because
So I'm getting carried away.
Yeah, so they go to this George Michael thing, and...
It was a tribute.
It was a tribute.
He died in... Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. And I messaged Mum as she's like there. I'm like, "You all right, Mum? You enjoying yourself?" She's like, "I don't know where the fuck I am. I feel like I'm in Benidorm."
Is that what she said?
Yeah, at the beginning. Yeah, no, not in a shit.
Okay.
If I've said something I shouldn't say. But yeah, she was like, "I feel like I'm in Benidorm." I was like, okay. Automatically, the image is in my head. I'm like, this is hilarious. Time's passed, whatever. Spoke to you lot at the end of it, and Mum was like, yeah, there was a woman, she kept talking to Dad, saying he looks like Rio Ferdinand.
I was like, Rio?
And then when I asked them, did you guys have a good time, like as a collectively, Mum was like, yeah. And my dad's like, it was wicked.
Oh, I loved it. It was wicked. It was a really good night. But I'm just trying to get to... You know, it's not always about getting drunk.
No.
It's about spending time together, getting out.
And that's the other thing as well. I do think people rely on alcohol too much.
Yeah.
They do. I mean, like, some people, I might be going into too much detail, but, like, they can't have sex with each other unless they're drunk.
Yeah.
They can't go and do this together unless they're drunk. You know, like, okay, maybe in your case it was cute, the fact that you two were too shy to speak to each other. But a lot of people use alcohol as a blanket to, like, you know, become their best self. And then when that time passes and you're not using alcohol as that vice anymore, the true you is there, and that is not the same. Do you get what I mean?
You know what? You hit it on the head. All right. So what happens is when two people tend to meet each other, they tend to put on a persona.
Yeah, they want to show you the best version of themselves.
Yeah. And this, that, and they act all cool, and they talk a certain way, and they act a specific way. They can, because you don't know me, I can act however the fuck I want.
You only know what I show you, so to speak.
But after a while, you can't keep that up.
No.
You can't keep it up. So the true you starts coming out. And then that person starts looking at me, going, what's happened to you? You're not men no more.
Yeah.
And you're like, I was never that person anyway. This is me.
Yep.
Do you understand? And this is why, you know, you really got to be true to yourself, you know, because... And that was one thing with your mum. I was true to myself.
Yeah.
You know, and I knew I couldn't act any other way. You know, I just knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So, do you think... You've already kind of touched on it, but we can go in a little bit more detail about it. So, do you think you shouldn't change who you are for your partner? Because there's a difference between change who you are and compromise.
Right. So there's example in a relationship, which I think is really important. Yeah, is we all compromise. You have to compromise because there's going to be certain things that you're not going to like doing, or you don't enjoy doing it, or it's just not a bit of you. It's not that you hate it, because if you hate it, you wouldn't do it. But you do it, you know, like sometimes, you know, we're going to have to go shopping. I don't really want to go shopping, but I go because it makes her happy. And you know what? I go and I make myself enjoy it. So we're talking about compromise. One thing that I realise what is really important in a relationship, and this is what is really important, is whatever goes on with me and my siblings and my mum and dad, I will not allow your mum to get involved in. Ever. And whatever happens with your mum and her sister and her mum and dad, I will never get involved in it.
No. You can advise.
No.
But you guys do, though. I hear you.
No, it's not I would advise. No, but you got to remember there's certain scenarios that your nan and your granddad goes in and they ask for advice.
Yeah.
And I'll just give them my opinion. I will never say to them, do this or do that.
No.
All right? I'll just tell them what I would do.
Yeah.
All right? So I will never say... Because you've got to remember, everyone's different. So the reason why I say that is because what tends to happen a lot is you tend to find, you know, a lot of people split from their families because of their partners.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, I'm with your mum, and your mum don't like my sister.
Yeah.
And the reason why she don't like my sister is because my sister had done something to me or
something,
whatever.
Yeah.
But the thing was that I allowed my partner to have an opinion. You can't have an opinion.
Yeah.
And the reason why you can't have an opinion because she's my sister.
She will always be my sister.
She will always be my sister.
Yeah.
I only get one sister in the same way that you only get one sister. And I wouldn't get involved.
Yeah.
And the same way you have your own mum and dad.
Because then you step in. You're
become
the one that's the problem now.
You're going to become the problem.
Yeah. But
You're
they'll
gonna
always
get the blame.
remain sister. Exactly.
And this is what can become a big problem in relationships.
Yeah.
And this is one of the big reasons I believe me and your mum have done okay. Is because we've always kept that separate.
It's a boundary.
There's boundary.
Yeah.
So I might talk to your mum about it, but I won't allow her to have an opinion.
Yeah.
Or not an opinion, but I won't allow her to interfere with my judgment. I won't.
Yeah.
Because I know if it goes wrong, I'm going to blame you.
Yeah.
If it goes wrong, they're going to blame you. And I do not want my sister to not like my partner.
Yeah.
That would be... I couldn't be in a relationship like that. I just couldn't be in it.
Yeah.
I need my sister to love my partner. I need my mum to love my partner.
Yeah, I completely get you.
Yeah, I need it because that's what makes the family become bigger and stronger. And the reason why I want that, or I have to have that, is because I need that to happen with you.
Yeah.
I would not want you to split up with your sister because you've got a partner that don't like her. But you're going to be like, no, I got him involved in it. That's why he don't like her.
Yeah, exactly.
But in return, you can't have an opinion on his relationships. Because if I've made it this far with my sister, 47 years old, that means we're doing something right.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? So that is a really fundamental thing that I would say in a relationship.
Love that.
Yeah?
Yeah, 100%. So how do you see things being in the future in regards to relationships? Do you think they'll get better? Do you think they'll get worse?
What, with me and your mum?
No, we know you and mum are good. I meant
then?
just in general speaking. So like...
Well, the way it's
Do
turned...
you see how it's changed from back in the days to now? Even from back in when you met mum to like how your parents met and so forth. How do you think it will be in the future?
Well, it's changed, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about when my mum and dad met, it was a bit like an arranged, you know? That's even in the book. You know, how my mum and dad met.
Yeah.
You know, so that's a great story. You know, it was an arranged marriage with blessings. Me and your mum, we met in an evening
Yeah.
together. Today's dating is online. Where's it going to go next? I don't know. I don't know where it's going to go next. But I do feel that you will get more of a common ground of a relationship if it's more of a physical introduction. Do you get what I mean? Not more of a digital introduction.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you whatever you want to fucking hear. Oh, I love dogs. Oh, I
Yeah.
love cats. You know what I mean? Like, I can tell you whatever you want to hear. And that's why a lot of these people get bloody scammed.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very true.
Yeah, so the future of dating or whatever, I don't know. I'll just leave it up to the big dating companies to still manipulate these poor innocent people.
Anything else you want to talk about on the subject of relationships? Do you think we've had an in-depth conversation?
Well, it's been about me and mum.
Yeah.
A lot of it's been about me and mum. I mean, no one's actually seen mum yet. I would love her to come on. the people that do know her. But like I say, at the end of the day, I mean, it's not been easy for me and your mum. You know, we've had kids from very young. You know, I've lost businesses. You know, I've lost properties. I've lost my home. You know, it's not I've lost it. We've lost it. You know, we've we've been through a lot. Not even just me, even your mum. You know, like your auntie having a stroke, and you know, your mum right now, your nan's got dementia. She's drastically deteriorating, and your mum is going through these things. You know, and she needs support. You know, no one can pull away from her. You know, and your mum is strong. You know, and your mum's been there beside me from the beginning. You know, from when we met in Buzzbar, when we lost the house. You know, when I lost businesses, when when I was doing all the naughty stuff. You know, your mum didn't like it, but your mum stuck beside me the whole way through, and when she stuck beside me. And the greatest thing was I was skin. And your mum always said, I don't love you for money. I love you for who you are. And that was one thing that made me realise as well that your mum is real. Absolutely real, you know. And, you know, a lot of people would have run a mile. You know, they'd have run a mile a long time ago. And, you know, now, everyone goes through their ups and downs. And I just feel like, you know, I put your mum through a lot. But she stuck beside me, and hopefully I'm making up for it now.
I hear
you know? And she knows that, and she can see that. And I regret it. I regret it. All the lost time. You know, all the lost time with you guys and your mum, and you know, the money that I lost here and the money I made. I made a lot of fucking money. A lot of people out there don't realise. You know, I would have retired at 25 years old. I would have retired than what I was doing. I was just... And your mum didn't know. Your mum didn't know none of it.
Yeah.
Because there was part of it that I felt like I didn't need to tell your mum. You know what I mean? I didn't need to tell your mum.
If you could go back, would you tell her?
No.
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 Okay.
No.
Keep that one as it is.
Yeah, I wouldn't tell her.
Fair enough.
Because I didn't know at that time to have the boundaries of don't get involved. Because your mum probably loved me that much, she would have had to get involved.
Yeah, I get
you. Do you get what I mean?
I get you. It was just you trying to protect her from whatever it was. Yeah, I get you.
I think at one stage, I was probably the richest person in my family. At young.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of dough. And, you know, there were stages where me and your mum lived really good.
Yeah.
They're very short-lived. Very short-lived. And I think about them times and I think, was I happy? I felt like I made your mum a bit happier. And then I lost it all.
But it wasn't long-lasting happiness kind of thing.
The drugs took over. And once the drugs took over, your mum could see it as well. And there was only so much your mum could take.
Yeah.
You know, and deep down, that's why I always knew I loved your mum. Because even when we'd split up, I stayed single through the whole lot. You know, I went out. There was loads of women around, and I knew from the bottom of my heart I was going to get back with your mum. And I knew if I was going to get back with your mum, I'm not carrying no baggage. I'm going back as pure as the beginning and as pure as I started again. And I knew that from the bottom of my heart. And again, I know I'm talking about your mum because I feel blessed.
Aww.
I feel totally blessed. And I wish and I hope and I pray that you and your relationship is like that.
Yeah.
All right? I really, really do. And I don't just wish that on your relationship. I wish that on my other kids as well. I wish that on my sister, my brother, you know, all our future, my niece, my nephews. I wish it on them, because I do realise is if you do have that thing that we're speaking about at the beginning, that strong relationship, as a unity, as a pack, you know, we get through anything. As long as we have the right ingredients and the directions, and we all want similar things, we want similar things, not our similar interests. You know what I mean by that? We want to go somewhere. We want to do this.
It doesn't matter if it's different.
Doesn't matter.
As long as you want to go to the same place. Yeah.
Doesn't matter what we got here.
Yeah.
It's where we want to go.
Yeah.
And I want that for everyone. If is that going to come through a digital dating website? Maybe. Is it going to come through someone in a nightclub? Maybe. But I do always say this as well. Remember where you find your partner. Remember where you find them. If you find them in a pub, expect them to drink. You find them in a club, expect them to take pills. You find them in a church, expect them to read the Bible a lot. And this is really important as well. Okay, so balance is really key.
Definitely. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed the love story of Mem and Rebecca. I am one of the 3 products of their lovely love relationship. What would you call it? Unit, team, pack.
Yeah.
Marriage.
And that's the thing.
Oh, that's the other question.
Yeah.
So when are you going to get married, for God's sake?
Yeah, so look, we've been together for 30 years. And I postponed. I proposed to your mum. And
he never flipping told us.
I know.
I can't get over that, you know. I would have thought that...
Because you lot got mouths.
I wouldn't have said anything.
So it was something that I planned a long time.
But that's why I was fuming.
And it was a lovely night. Was it before lockdown?
I don't know.
Yeah, it was before lockdown, and I proposed to her, and I was meant to get married, but things happened, and we're still not married after 30 years, and we're going to get married.
One day.
Yeah? Okay.
So, I think that's enough on relationships tonight.
Yeah.
We may talk about it again in the future, who knows, but I think we've done your head in for the last hour and a bit. So yeah, guys, if you've enjoyed today's podcast, don't forget, we'd love to see you like our video, comment, let us know your thoughts and feelings. If you want to share with us how you met your partner, and the love story that has become of you guys, we'd love to hear it. Share this with your friends. You can also listen to our podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. I also want to apologise for the late upload. We do upload every Sunday at 5 p.m, but we had a little bit of a technical, and we just got to deal with it. But I personally have enjoyed today's conversation. I do love hearing about my mum and my dad. I love their relationship. I admire it. I think it's truly beautiful. Like my dad said, ups and downs, but they are a team, and it's lovely for me and my sisters and the whole family to see that. So thanks, Dad, for sharing with us your stories. Sure. And yeah, anything you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, like what I've spoke about today, I mean, as much as we spoke about relationships, and I made your mum the key person.
Oh, she's going to love this.
The reason why I made your mum the key person is because in the book, your mum was one of the fuels that pulled me through so much. And you know, I always got there's a quote in it that I keep saying. You know, every disaster or trial and tribulation that I went through in that book, I always went, and my partner and my kids at home waiting for me.
Yeah.
They're waiting for me. And I was out doing whatever I fucking did. And that's why I've spoke about your mum tonight.
Yeah. Because
the book itself, as much as, like I said, it's got like a lot of dark side to it, it's got an amazing magical love story in it. Because even though what I've spoke about, I haven't gone into detail, you know, talking about your mum, you know, how, I mean, I've said a little bit, keeps them entwined.
Yeah.
But the book itself has got an amazing love story in it. And I feel like, you know, it has to be told.
Definitely.
And I feel like that
should
love
be
story,
celebrated.
yeah, and I feel like that love story has to be told for you guys.
Yeah.
You know, that you can say, that's my mum and dad. And your children to say, that's my
my
nan and granddad.
Exactly.
Do you understand what I mean? And that's why the book itself had to have that in there. Because your mum was one of the key ingredients for that book to be finished.
Yeah.
Because without your mum, I would have probably still be living in an unwritten chapter 6. Did you get what I meant by that? I'll be still living that.
Yeah.
Wherever I might have been, in prison, on gear, crackhead, stabbed, yeah, whatever. Because it leads up into something. Wherever it goes.
Yeah.
But your mum, she pulled me through it.
Love that. Shout out to you, Mum. We love you.
Big shout outs to everyone's mum.
Everyone's
mum.
mum.
Like I say, you must love your mum dearly.
Yeah.
You know, your family's the most important thing in this world. Nothing else, just your family. But yes, thank you everyone for sharing and caring, and hope you enjoyed it. And I hope I ain't made everyone cry or get divorced or
I'm
you know
just
what
laughing.
I mean? Huh?
I'm laughing at the bit where you're like, Mum jumped on you.
She did.
Yeah. You wait when we go inside now.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, we'll see you again next week. Thank you once again.
Thank you.